That feels right. All right. Good morning, good noon, and good night. You are watching the Upland Action News, and my name is LEFTHOUSE, and I am joined by my co-hostess and co-mostess on this amazing, a miracle show, this midnight hour show for us. How you doing, brother?
The midnight special is upon us
Yes.
with a very special guest. Very excited to be here, brother. There's my microphone. I'm sorry I didn't have it out and ready to go now.
Absolutely.
Got 10 lovely people in the house with us right now. Share this out with everyone. Let everybody know what's going on. Late night special, Upland Action News edition.
Absolutely. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you're new. You know the deal. We've been here long enough. Bing, bing, hit it. Ring a ding ding. Bring it on in. Whoa, that trailer at the beginning of the show here got me hyped. I'm actually nervous. I'm freaking out a little bit. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's bring the man, the myth, the legend into the Upland Action News studio right now, Mr. Kieran Warwick.
Yes, we've got a lot to learn, I have a feeling.
There he is. There he is coming in right now. Yeah, so much to learn. So glad to finally get to this conversation. We've tried this a couple of times and now we're here. A third time is a charm. How are we, Kieran?
I'm doing much better now. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me on, Brian.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
So
joining.
we're freaking out over the trailer here of your game. It's insane. Actually, I've got one question, just one question, and then we can go to bed or wake up, whatever we're doing. Why is it that every person, every time I see a video about Illuvium, everybody's like, "This is the one. This is AAA. This is the top of the line." Like, it's like you guys were on my radar, fell off my radar for a second just because there's so much flying at. Then I reached out to you, we chatted, and ever since then, it's just like everybody's just keeps talking about Illuvium being like the one. So why is that? What's going on?
I think it's a combination of things, but I guess that first impression that people get is they see the AAA art that our anonymous art director Von Neumann has been creating with his team of exceptional artists. Like that's our biggest selling point by far, is when you're talking a collectible game, you need to make the characters collectible. And part of that is being aesthetically pleasing enough for you to go, yeah, that looks really cool. Or I think, it's going to be lethal in battle. And yeah, I think definitely when you first look at things like our trailer, our characters, our environments, you can see that we're doing things a little bit differently than what most other crypto projects in the gaming space are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And when did it start? When did it? When was the first idea born for Illuvium?
It was around. It's actually, it gets harder and harder to remember these things, but it was around about September of
Yeah.
last year that it was like, okay, let's create an NFT game. What that NFT game was a very infant version of what Illuvium is now. And yeah, between Von Neumann and Aaron and myself, we kind of just ideated out this this entire ecosystem, which has now got land sales in it, and character collection, battling, wages. There's so much complexity to it now, but for some reason, it still is bundled in this package that makes sense to people.
Yeah. And from inception till now, has there been a crazy amount of changes in the technology? Has there been like, oh, we didn't know we could do this then, we can do this now. If absolutely, we're gonna add this to it. Has that been happening a lot?
I mean, it has, yeah. So we originally, and I think that's just the way that it's sort of progressed. Aaron touches on this quite a bit, and we tend to do things the hard way, even though that might take a little bit longer and it's a little bit more challenging and frustrating and all of those things. At the end of the day, if we're exploring the paths that haven't been explored before and we're finding solutions to them, the product that we're going to deliver is going to be bleeding edge. And so, originally we were looking at purely launching on Unity, which is a gaming engine, and it was a couple of months in, we looked at it, and again, our art director, he basically said, we're not going to be able to produce the level of graphics that I'm looking for. We need to go to Unreal. And so that was a huge decision. Like you're talking about a completely different set of game devs. And luckily for us, our CTO, Johnny, he was the one who was leading up the front end development for that. But then in the end, he's now moved to our back end serverless architecture. But that was a huge change for us. But it's meant that the graphics quality and the gameplay is going to be so much more polished than what it was before, that, yeah, we made that decision.
Yeah, you guys seem like you have a pretty giant team. How many people work for Illuvium?
Well, if we don't count the moderators, which there's with 100,000 people in our Discord server, there's got to be quite a few moderators.
Yeah.
But if we take them out, we just got over 100 people.
Oh yeah, I'm just scrolling down the list. I feel like I'm watching the end of a movie right now. This is amazing.
Yeah, so that actually, I literally just hit up Carlos, one of our lead devs, and I said, man, this, like, it's better, but we still don't have everyone on here. So can we get them up? So
right.
there's going to be more.
Right. So did you guys have experience in the gaming side of things before, or like, and also too, like the crypto side? It seems like, people talk very highly about your cryptonomics as well. Like, so were you guys coming from both sides of this equation, or?
Yeah, we got it's quite a unique situation that we're all of the co-founders are bringing to the table. I've had exposure in crypto for the past 5 or 6 years. I've been investing in a lot of projects. I've always loved, doing deep dives into the research of different protocols out there. So I was able to find the niche in NFTs and see the vision of what could actually be possible here if we built a AAA game. And then Von Neumann, the art director, he's brought 20 years of experience in being top of CGI, and that's allowed us to not only create really, really good looking characters, but to also improve on normal game flows that existed, that a lot of the time we were getting pushback from our game devs saying, like, this has not been done before. I don't know if it's possible. And because he comes from such a high-end print background where he's working with brands like Toyota and Mercedes and like serious brands, they're expecting everything to look as polished as possible. And then Aaron brings to the table this really, really, really huge amount of game design knowledge. And so he's the brains behind the actual design of the game. And between all three of us, we've been able to get as far as we could. And then obviously going and hiring another 97 experts to deliver on what we're trying to achieve has basically been how we've been able to put it all together.
I see. And so are we on schedule right now? Everything going good? Are we stressed? Are we freaking out, or what's happening?
I mean, we just had our first pushback. We went from being delivered, we're looking to deliver the product in Q4 of this year, and unfortunately now we pushed that back to Q1 of next, which is disappointing. But there's a couple of things to be said about that. The first one is that the only reason we're delaying this thing is not because contributors or whatever are taking holidays and we're doing the lax thing over here. We're pushing as hard as we can, but we've decided to increase the scope across the board on a number of decisions over the past 6 to 9 months, which have attributed to the delay that we have. And the second one is that we probably put out a date that was a little bit naive. To build the scale of game that we are talking about, you're typically looking at a 2-3 year dev cycle. And what we were trying to do is do it in 12 months. And so that's probably going to, now with the delays that we put in, it's starting to look a bit more realistic. But it's pretty stressful. But yeah, it is what it is.
Well, you're it don't sound like too many. I mean, like it's like a lot of the games and the people that come in, they're saying a lot of the same things. You know, like it just takes time. You know, and they want to do it right,
Mm,
and it's like, yeah, there's pressure from the community and stuff, but it is better to do it right and take the time. You know, and put because you don't want the other. You know, you don't want to do the other because
no.
then everybody's way more mad, and it's just like a way worse scenario. So. I think,
Mhm.
you know, patience is the name of this game. It's all, it just, I think people get caught up in it though, because it goes so fast. And then they're
Yeah.
just like, when, you know?
The
Or,
excitement takes over. It's easy to get caught up, but then to realize what's actually being developed here, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it's a long vision. It's a vision for longevity.
Hmm.
It's something built for more than just a quick or instant gratification for sure. This is, when you look at this thing, I feel like the trailer, I feel like I'm walking into an IMAX theater
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
it has that
It's
vibe.
like the production quality, the sound, the everything about it is just top notch for sure. It separates itself, you know.
Yeah, and it's
So,
like the kind of game that everybody talks about that we want to play, you know,
mm,
in a play to earn way. You want to have that sort of that that level, those layers of a game, you know, that like we
mhm.
haven't really gotten to experience yet with crypto gaming yet, you know, like got to touch things like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think again that's what we do differently. We didn't start this to incentivize people with our in-game rewards, because from our standpoint, our in-game rewards aren't worth anything unless people want to actually play the game, right? Because once those things run out, that's it, or if for whatever reason there's a downturn in crypto and we go into a bear market, are people going to still be playing the games that they don't necessarily enjoy playing, if they're not earning, or if they're not earning enough? And that's where I think we could potentially, we haven't hit it yet just purely because there's not enough games. But when there is a plethora of games that are out there, and you're talking about, you know 40, 50 that are live, and they're all still not that mainstream quality that people just go, they get up and they go, God, I've got to play that game, or I'm not going to bed tonight because I'm so addicted, I'm just going to play all day. You know, when that's not, when we don't have those types of games, and we've got these games that are all offering in-game yield, I think we're going to face this period where it'll probably last 6 to 12 months, and there's going to be jumping around, and it's basically going to mimic what yield farming was last year, where people were just farming the absolute shit out of a token, and then as soon as the rewards started dying off, they would just jump to the next protocol, and they don't care about the protocol. They just were looking for the yield. Whereas
Yeah.
we're trying to do the opposite, and we're trying to build this game which people would say, I don't care if I'm not making any money, I don't care if I had to even pay to play this game, I'm having so much fun that that's why I'm here. And
The
then
game is it.
obviously the
Yeah.
cherry on, yeah, and then the cherry on top is, hey, I'm playing this game that I love, and also I just won $30,000 in a tournament or something like that.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's something to be said. It seems like the games and even like the collections of NFTs, it's like the backstory, the lore that they have seem to go, you know, people seem to be starving for this or something on a
Mm,
D&D level, even like the new like big crazy loot and gear type thing that came out
mhm.
recently. Like there's so I mean, it's the idea, it's the imagination, you know, so that that all being said, like, do you have writers like you know, like is there a staff of writers for the
Yeah,
lore and stuff for this?
yeah, absolutely. So that was the other thing that I said to Aaron early on, who is the chief game designer, but we also have a game designer from Riot who came across, and we've just recently brought on another game designer who is focusing more on Illuvium 0 and the lore behind that. But the thing that I said to Aaron very, very early on, when he was designing the game, was if you can't write a movie script, a Hollywood style movie script off this, then go back to the drawing board. We need to start again, because we're trying to build this into a franchise very, very similar to what Pokemon was like. And to do that, you need to give people a reason. You need to tap into the psychology of collecting and make someone want it. And part of that is going to be, the storyline of the game. As you're going through, you don't just want it to be a remedial experience where it's not well thought out. There's no surprises. There's no, like
engagement.
And yeah, you need that feedback loop of lore constantly going, okay, wow, what is this new element and what is this? And eventually, after hours and hours and hours of playing through Illuvium, you'll actually discover what is going on, what happened here, and yeah, we think it's quite a cool storyline that I certainly think it is, and a lot of our community are up to date on some aspects of it. But again, we have to be a little bit careful because we can't reveal everything.
Absolutely. I'm looking at some concept art here of a water buffalo you guys posted on Twitter. It looks pretty phenomenal here. Is this a creature? Can I control this fella? Am I going to have to fight this? Do I have to worry about this man? What this bull?
So that was actually an ode to our Filipino community, which is, given the Axie Infinity burst that's occurred recently. We've got a huge cohort of Filipinos that are in our Discord. And that's their national animal. And so we thought, let's put the water buffalo in. And so twofold, I guess, to answer your question. Firstly, you will, if you're a collector and you go out into the overworld, very similar to Pokemon, you are roaming around. If you go into the region where you see the caravel, the water buffalo, then yeah, you can throw a shard at it, or not throw a shard. In our sense, it's not like Pokeballs, but you essentially capture it in your shard, and then you have the ability, you can just go and flip that on the exchange. You can hodl it if you want to, and if you think it's going to go up in value, or you can take that and go into one of our arenas and battle using your new character. And so the idea is, go and capture out of the 150 that will be available in set 1, go and capture and put together a team that synergize really well based on their different affinities, and then strategically battle other players in a PvP format for ETH.
Right. So yeah, that sounds amazing, all of it. So what games did you grow up playing, or what are some of your favorite games?
We had so many games. Like we used to play like Command and Conquer, Total Annihilation. Then on like the Nintendo, we had like GoldenEye, Mario Kart. Like our mum was pushing against and saying like, get off the computer. You shouldn't be on there. Don't do that. Like go out and run around, play sport. Whereas our dad, who actually, weirdly enough, like it's a bit of a crazy situation, but he's a ex-famous tennis player, and he was saying to us, spend more time on the computer, familiarize yourself with it. He was a huge Apple buff back in like 95 or whatever, and so we always had Apples, which kind of sucks because there was like 10 games on Apple computers.
Yeah.
But we would always try and use like emulators and all sorts of different stuff early on. So we've always been around gaming.
So Is this a game? Can you are you going to be able to play this game legally, or no? Because you're in the creators, you can't touch it, kind of thing, or no? You can dabble.
Yeah, no, we can dabble. So I think I think Aaron would quit the project right now if he wasn't allowed to play.
Okay.
But
Yeah. As I was wondering
as
about that, as I'm a
so
filmmaker, we've made feature films, and it's weird, like you're so excited to make the thing, but once it's done, I don't ever feel like I actually get to see the movie, like what it's like
mm,
to, for it to come in and not know anything about it, because I'm constantly thinking of like, oh, I remember on that day this happened, or but there's so many memories, which is kind of a
yeah.
special thing for me. I'm wondering if it will be like that when it gets all said and done. If you'll be like, I can't play this thing anymore, like like it's
I
just
don't
boring, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with our game designer, Ben, and I asked him that question. I said, "What's the deal? Like, you've designed a lot of games that have shipped. Uh, What's that feeling like? Do you go back and play those games?" And he's like, "God, no, absolutely not. I can't do it. It's you exactly what you're describing. You're
Yeah.
looking at it and you're like, oh, like I can see that bug, we should have fixed that, or that element should have changed, or he shouldn't have been this power." So he's like, in the games where he has to, where there's balancing and you've kind of got to play, yes, and obviously there's a testing period and all of that kind of stuff. But I think I don't know. I obviously I haven't experienced it before myself, so I'm not 100% sure. But I would like to think that I'm going to play quite a bit.
Right. Yeah. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to have you come back on,
Hmm.
and because I'm very curious if it'll be something that
It's an
or
interesting
maybe you'll
one.
be on to the next, because that's usually what happens with me. I'm like, I got another idea, next movie, and I just want to go off to the races with that usually.
Hmm.
But,
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of plans to do expansions and different games. Illuvium, it's self-titled, our first game. However, we're a decentralized autonomous studio, and so we have planned that after these guys, the 200 people that we have, by the time that we ship the first title, there's nowhere for them to go. There's nothing else to do but create more games and more expansions. We've got plans to build out the character sets, and so there's always going to be something to do for us.
well, a lot of our viewers know that I'm a little bit of a land whore. So can you tell me a little bit about the alluvium land? When land, and
Yeah.
what's the deal with the land?
Yeah, so we decided to make land. When I say we, it was a combination of Johnny and Aaron. They put their heads together. All I think I said was, we need a use case for it. We can't just we have to sell land, but I think we need a use case for it. And so they put their heads together and they basically come up with a city builder game, which is really, really cool because it actually integrates with the main Illuvium game. And so essentially this city builder game is designed for people to, it's an idle clicker. So there isn't too much involved. It just takes a lot of, I guess, your sweat equity. And so you're basically harvesting resources which you turn into fuel for the main game, and the fuel is used for different sorts of things, but stuff like shards require fuel, weapon creation, and even things like enhancements and stuff like that. And so if you're a landowner, what you want to be doing, the cool thing there is the main game is always requiring these resources, and so, or this fuel rather. And so you as a landholder, you've constantly got this passive revenue stream where you can harvest all of these resources using your land plot. And depending on the tier of land, there's tier 1 right up to tier 5. The tier, obviously the higher the tier, the more deposits you're going to find on your land, which will obviously you'll be able to harvest more resources, sell more fuel, make more money, and yeah, so that's basically what it is.
Cool.
And we're looking at doing the first sale of 20,000 plots sometime in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, cool. So a lot of the projects that we work with and have put out ourselves have been in the wax ecosystem, and there seems to be like a whole set of different mechanics and things, and a lot of the games kind of do sell land, and very similar to the way you described how your land would work. But like there's resources that you can mine out of the ground and sell or use in game. There's different things you can do. Do you guys look at these other chains much and look at the other games to see what's going on and what can be done on these other chains, or is that not? Are you guys
Yeah.
more focused on what you guys can do from the East standpoint?
Well, I guess you would. We're not. I guess I come at this being probably the most of an ETH maxi.
Okay.
However, there were a couple of other chains that we looked at early on, and for us, because our brother is the founder of Synthetics, he is an ETH maxi himself, right?
Right.
And so a lot of his contacts early on were in the Ethereum community, and that's certainly where he's the most bullish, and that's obviously where the most devs are and the most projects and all of that kind of stuff. So, but the biggest issue for us was the gas prices on Ethereum, and so we were looking at other chains because of that. But then Kane introduced us to Immutable, and Immutable solves all of those issues basically. And so we essentially thought, let's stick on the most popular chain, and where a lot of our contacts feel the most comfortable to invest in early on, and with the ability to launch on Immutable with the no gas fees, no minting fees, and the super fast transaction times, it solved all of the issues that we were running into for our game.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense to build on top of ETH.
For sure. No, I love ETH as well. Happened to be that wax was like my gateway into the NFTs, and we're dabbling in both net worlds now a little bit. But yeah, why don't more people use Immutable X? It seems like that should be talked about and celebrated across the space.
Yeah, so I guess one of the risks for us is that Immutable hasn't launched completely yet. They're right now it's still only open to Gods Unchained, and so we're obviously doing our integration now. Gotcha. And it seems to be doing, it seems to be going smoothly. We had a couple of things early on where we were a little bit concerned about. They've alleviated those concerns now, and so I think it's just a matter of a few projects. Again, we're talking about gaming mostly. Yeah. There's obviously a lot of other projects, and so Immutable only has been around for the last like 12 to 18 months, and so I think it's just a matter of we need to see some games launched on Immutable first, and then you'll start to see a lot more traction.
That makes sense. Okay, I only have one more question, and it actually comes from the chat. It's about the name. Where does it come from? What's the backstory to Illuvium?
I can't, and so many people ask that. I'm not allowed to answer that. Basically, okay. It ties very heavily into the lore of the game, and you will find out what Illuvium is alluding to. Awesome. Once you get into the game. But yeah, that was something that Aaron quite brilliantly put together.
Okay, I like it. Brother, you have any questions for our man here?
Yeah, real quick, I was just gonna ask. I came across on the Twitter some quick little bullet point tweets from the team from the Illuvium page, and this one kind of stuck out to me. And maybe you can just, for somebody new getting into the game, this one seemed like it spoke to me. It says, start off free to play and explore free areas of biomes, mine ore, harvest plants, encounter alluvials, and witness their powers in battle. You want to hunt them. And that's when the fun really amps up. So yeah, like it makes me wonder where we're at right now for someone like myself or like us who it hasn't gotten into the community yet and to the game yet. Like, where's the best place to start?
So I guess what that's alluding to is the free to play element that we have in the game, and so there's nothing really for anyone to do apart from participating in the land sale, because we're and outside of our marketing efforts, which we do a bunch of NFT drops and stuff like that. One thing that we have, sorry.
I don't know what was.
Oh, I lost you there.
Yeah, we're here. There, brother. I think he froze on it. Huh.
Yeah. So one thing that we're doing is we've committed to this, and obviously, we could have done a pre-sale of our NFTs. It could have generated, with the amount of hype that we have around, it could have generated hundreds of millions of dollars. But it completely screws the game's balance on launch. And you'll have this situation where you've got all of these whale wallets that have gone out and bought all of the expensive NFTs, the best characters. That screws with our balance of battling. And when you're talking about the in-game yield that we're set to distribute is close to $500 million, you can't. It's not worth it to screw with that balance. You're best off just saying everyone starts fair play. No NFTs are sold prior, and for you to start off, you can go into the world, and you can either start by free to play, like the tweet was describing. Check it out. You can see the different biomes that we have. You can see ideally if you like the game, because if you don't like the game, why should you invest a ridiculous amount of money into it? And if you decide, yep, I think this is awesome, it's a fun game, and I think I can earn some dollars, that's when you can invest in going up to higher level shards, which will allow you to get higher level alluvials. Or the other thing that you can do is, obviously in the first week of launch, there's going to be a mad rush of everyone going out, all these collectors going out and trying to get as many alluvials as possible, because they get rarer and rarer as they get caught. And if you want to be one of these whales, you could sit around, wait for the first couple of weeks, and then start trying to sniper off really rare alluvial from the decentralized exchange. And that's a way that you can enter and sort of utilize your whale powers. The thing about that is, though, you've made someone who's an individual grinder a lot of money in the process. You've gone and bought his assets that he's put all of his time into himself, and then the cycle continues.
Yeah,
Super cool.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I think it'll be a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking your time. It means a lot to us that you came here and spoke on your game and the whole thing. It's very cool, and we'd love to have you back once it all launches, or whenever you have anything you want to shout about. We would love to have you here. And
for sure, maybe we can do something around the land sale when we get closer to that.
Yes, let's do that. I'd love that. That would be super cool.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And,
all right.
Well, thanks so much for having me, guys.
Yeah, good to meet you.
You too.
We'll
I'll
chat
talk to you
again.
soon.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okie babies and gentlemen, there we have it. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, and he's left the building. Wow, that was cool. That's an exciting one. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Hurley ATV for a super chat. And also I want to thank everybody else who tuned in for this midnight hour special. Very exciting.
Oh, it's going to be hard to sleep now.
Yeah, no, I have no plans of sleeping until after the next show in 13 hours. No, in 12 hours, actually, now. We'll do the next show, which we'll have Crypto Chibi joining us for the Chibi update. And
yes.
There's a lot of things going on tomorrow. We might have some surprise guests coming in, who knows. But anyway, Illuvium.
They're the real deal.
Yeah.
Doing things differently.
Doing it differently. A huge team.
I mean, it's an insane studio, it seems like, of creatives that they've got over there.
One thing that it was interesting there at the end, you know, that he was talking about not doing that big NFT pre-sale, starting, you know, to allow people to whale up now, is really interesting, because I feel like that is some of the issues that certain games have had or whatnot, you know, in the space. But that will eliminate and give us all, you know, that fair shot. And I like what he was saying. Like, if you do want to whale up, you're buying the grinder's work.
Yeah.
So
that was one of their quotes. There was fair play equals fun play.
Yeah, babies and gentlemen, I like that. I like that. Boulder Magic. Now I want to play Illuvium. Yeah, me too. Me too. It seems like a good one. DK Dog in the house. Good to see you. All right, everybody. Anything else we should say before we get out of here? Got another show to do in the 12 hours.
Yeah, I think we're all clear for now.
Yeah, that was it. That was the Illuvium special.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you all for joining.
Good morning, good noon, and good night. We will see you all in the metaverse. Assist. Please go ahead and like and subscribe and all that stuff if you're new. Come back, stay up all night, and watch us in 12 hours. Peace!
This is the best part of the show, the outro.
Award-winning episode. Wow.
Illuvium. And then hot.
True stuff. Big deal baller. That feels right. AAA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that feels right. Truly, thank you everybody for tuning in, like and subscribe. We have a lot of great guests coming on later in the week as well. NFT Stalkers. I can't remember. Oh, it's Green Rabbit Wednesday on Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time.
With the Monkey Friday on Friday. We're going to talk about the Action Family Club card tomorrow.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll do a sneaky peeky, slightly reveal-y typey thingy, but where we don't show the whole thing, just maybe a little pieces of, or Reese's pieces of.
All right.
I don't know, I'm just thinking maybe out loud.
Throwing it out there.
Throwing it out there, baby. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to hang up now.
No, you hang up.
Okay, you hang up.